Welcome to the video. Spoiler alert, your audience can kill you. What do you mean? How is that possible? Don't you need a gun? A knife? A spatula? Look, I get it. It's stupid trying to make a connection of this sort, but can you tell me this is something that doesn't happen? Not like a physical thing such as stampedes, bar fights, walking down the streets of Britain, but through words. You gotta remember, sticks and stones. There's 3 ways an audience can, quote unquote, end a person's life, be it socially, physically, and mentally. And there's a thin line between these 3 lives everyone has, where one could easily affect the other, and this is the sad truth. People know how someone can be killed physically, and I'm hoping they are not acting upon those thoughts. Hopefully. But let's see the social side of things. Cancel culture. Have I got your attention now? Cancel culture and the cesspit it comes from should not have as much power as it has, but it does. Did you say something containing the gamer word back in your edgy days? Well, too bad! Those will circulate until you have fallen into obscurity. You'll have one of those small trolls that will mention it here and there, but those first couple of days, ooh boy, you better get ready to rumble. Though, there are people that fight through it, but some criterias have to be met in order to overcome cancel culture, and not everyone has that kind of luxury. So let's look at 3 things I believe you should have: transparency, a fan base, and context. Let's look at each of one of them separately. Transparency just comes from how you interact with everyone, and are you true to yourself when talking on stream, replying to tweets, hell, even making a video. Do you come off as genuine? Fanbase is the accumulation of your work and the ones who decide to stick to you because of their love for your hard work. Context will always be your friend. This will be your evidence, but sometimes, sadly, your downfall. When you say something that could be easily taken out of context, be sure that your transparency shows your true intentions, because people, be it fans or others, will first and foremost take things out of context. Does the context make it better or worse? That's for you to decide. I'm trying my best to not bring up any names, and that's really hard, but I will bring forward 3 names, and you decide if these people meet these 3 criteria, or did they fail somewhere. My 3 names are Keemstar, Shane Dawson, and Low Tier God. In my opinion, Keemstar, through all the things that he's been through, he has all 3. Shane Dawson had only 2. What he failed at was context. At that time, his edgy days, the context only acted as gasoline to a flame. The cat didn't do anything wrong, and the context for his escapades just destroyed any out for him. Last but not least, Low Tier God. All 3 for him are flawed, as in they benefit him and hurt him at the same time. Transparency, people see through the discrepancy between him on stream and in IRL. Well, when he was able to go to tournaments. But they consider the real LTG is the one on stream, banning people and talking smack. His fan base is genuine, genuinely insane. It's filled with people that watch him unironically, and good for them, I guess. But it's also filled with double agents where they watch him just to clip his rages, and full streams to re-upload only to get them flagged if they get too popular and catch his eyes. Context will only benefit him if there is an actual stream sniper and he's getting trolled in order to get a reaction out of him. In another case, well...
Your life is nothing. You serve 0 purpose. You should kill yourself now.
Is cancel culture deserved? No. Is cancel culture needed? Kinda, it depends. Can it be fought? Oh, definitely yes. But what about if the audience goes too far? Ending someone's life socially has an effect on people's mentalities. No duh. But you have to understand, the ones entertaining you, at the end of the day, is human. You as the viewer, watching through a screen, are limited to 2 things: on-screen prompts and chat. Think about cause and effect and mob mentality. If you have a large amount of people repeating one thing, they are bound to repeat it in unison. We talked about the effect, but what's the cause? Well, to know that, viewers should understand one thing and one thing only. You are not owed anything. If you're watching reruns of Family Guy on TV, do you call the station and tell them, "Hey, you already aired this episode, change it or I'll go watch another different channel"? You aren't entitled to anything. The person you're watching isn't playing the game you wanted to see? Well, you spammed them to play that game, you stupid piece of... Oh, the person you are watching decided to cut the usual stream of 10 hours to a measly 7.5 hours? Well, you better threaten them about unfollowing, unsubscribing, and never ever watching them again because you didn't get your daily 10 hours of stream watching. We don't know what the entertainers are doing privately, what they struggle with, how much it takes to stream that day. But if the negativity is multiplied by tenfold, God knows what goes through these people's heads in these times. Mentally, people will be affected, and mix it with a little mob mentality and you get shoved into a corner, fight or flight activates, and it becomes a lose-lose situation. Lose one, disappear socially, which equals income gone. Lose two, disappear physically, which means life gone. Sadly, two names are the ones that should stick out in your mind if you have been on the internet for a long time: Wreckful and Etika. Wreckful tried to make it work and tried streaming even when he stated out loud that certain things have become a pain. And what did the people do? Clown emotes. What happened then? People saw the clown emotes and decided to hop in the clown car with everyone else, and mob mentality. Etika reached a standpoint and his chat also started looking like a clown car, but he tried to go with lose one because of an intervention with loved ones. But he would pop up around socially in a weak mental state and people took things as a joke, having the spotlight on him in every turn when certain people have been shouting out loud that the light should not be on him. Fight or flight kicks in. The same people that drove him into the corner started blaming him for scaring people by not telling them his whereabouts and were worried for his well-being, which sadly brings us to lose two, a final goodbye, and the thought of how late were we? Why did he have to go so young? What should you take from this video? You as a viewer aren't owed anything. Are you into cancel culture? Well, you better be on the right side, because right now, you just look like a bunch of bullies. But here's one more thing. When to call it quits. We are social people. We crave popularity. We want to interact with one another. Streaming and making videos is a great way to interact with others. But what if you're boring? What if the stream is you with no cam and barely any commentary? What if the video you strived on editing for a month only to be not blessed by the almighty algorithm and you get only 10 views on it? Now you're sitting in an empty theater with a lone spotlight on you and no one in the audience. Once again, I'll ask you, when do you call it quits?